Back in the day, there was really only one way to prove you'd made it as a comedian. Get on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. He was an amazing host, and he loved giving new comedians a chance, including a good friend of mine. I had no idea you were such a Tonight Show historian.
Oh, ask me anything. I know it all.
Yeah?
Up till when you got on there.
Yeah, then that's pretty much...
I was watching Merv Griffin from then on.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you lost interest. Paul Reiser is a great comedian, actor, writer, and producer. The list goes on and on. He starred in hit movies and TV shows for decades, but I have him here today because he helped create and produce a series about The Tonight Show called There's Johnny. So that stands to reason he should be excited about the cars I have waiting for us. Well, I'll tell you what, I know you're not a real car guy,
right?
Okay? But I got a couple of cars I think will be of real interest to you.
I would like to see.
Okay, come on.
This is something.
Well, this is a 39 Chrysler Royal. From 1937 to 1950, the Royal was the workhorse of the Chrysler fleet. With a 4.1-liter six-cylinder engine, it was a reliable and affordable car that still has some nice styling. This is what a sensible person would buy. And the sensible person who bought this was Johnny Carson's dad.
Oh, that's great. This was on that show.
Yeah,
on the,
Johnny did a special called Johnny Comes Home.
I do remember it.
Yeah.
It's lovely countryside, isn't it?
He talked about his dad having a 39 Chrysler, and they showed clips of Johnny polishing the car when he was 12, and they had him when he's 18 going to his prom. And NBC decided, let's find a 39 Chrysler and see if we can recreate that for Johnny. So they go to Johnny's hometown in Nebraska, and of course, growing up in a small town, I know this, nothing really leaves the area.
It was still there.
It was actually Johnny's dad's car.
It was it.
It was the actual car. So they presented it to Johnny as a gift, and Johnny kept it while he wasn't a real car guy. And what I didn't know was Johnny had left a letter that after his passing to give the car to me. And I was really touched by that. So I've taken care of it and kept it running and keep it up.
And a lovely back seat area.
The back seat is where Johnny, I believe, lost his virginity.
No, that can't be true. Don't tell me that.
And this car...
This one I recognize.
Well, this is an exact replica of Johnny's last car. In 1992, Chevrolet gave the Corvette a new powertrain that kicked up its performance and put out an additional 50 horsepower. In fact, it caused sales of the ZR1 to plummet because the new Corvette was pretty darn close in performance, but cost about $30,000 less. But, you know, it just showed what a Midwestern guy Johnny was, because Johnny could have had a Ferrari or a Lamborghini or a Rolls-Royce, but he drove the best American thing you could get at the time, which was the Corvette.
It was never not thrilling to pull into the lot, and I was going to be on the show with him, but still seeing his car, I went, wow, Johnny's here.
You want to take these for a ride?
Absolutely, let's do it. It's a lovely day for a drive. So, Jay, how does that thing actually drive? Is it fun to drive?
Yeah, I mean, it drives like an old car, but I remember when cars drove like this, so it's nostalgic for me. But, you know, the fascinating thing is this is the actual car Johnny learned how to drive on.
That's wild. That's a real piece of history.
Yeah, it really was the family car.
And the car I'm driving, we don't know who was here.
No, I don't know. That's why I let you drive it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So tell me, I mean, what year was your first Tonight Show?
My first Tonight Show was April 1982.
I'm still a bit nervous, I'll be honest with you, and maybe you are too. Let me ask you honestly, how many of you would really rather skip this and go for coffee? Anybody at all?
So that was the only time that I did stand-up. I did, 7 minutes, didn't sit down on the couch, and then from then on, I would sit on the couch and do material with Johnny, and he was so masterful at helping you. He loved comics, and he loved for you to do well, you know? I was actually amazed. I was on more than I remembered. I was on, like, a lot. It was a nice little run there. That was the only thing that our parents' generation could appreciate about our careers is if we got on The Tonight Show. Because up till then, you know, what does your son do? He goes to clubs and he stays up till 2 in the morning and he drinks and he meets girls. So, and he makes no money. So when you're on Johnny, that was the real validation. And I remember my father, I said, I did pretty well. I don't remember, I think it was pretty good. And my father said, yeah, well, Johnny seemed to like you, which sort of in there was, I didn't care for it. But
Yeah,
it doesn't
right,
matter.
exactly.
Johnny, you're in. What was your first Tonight Show, Jay?
My first Tonight Show was March 2nd, 1977.
Okay, that exactly clocks, because I remember watching it in college, and you had a crazy-ass suit.
It was a green suit I had gotten free I had been in a movie called Silver Bears with Michael Caine, and I got this suit for free. I didn't have any money, so I wore that. And back in those days, all the comics, people think it's this cutthroat, horrible business. But comics always supported other comics. When I did my first Tonight Show, if you listen, you can hear, you hear Robin Williams laughing in the audience.
It was very supportive, because with actors, if there's a role, one of you is going to get it and everybody else is not going to get it.
Right.
But with comedy, Jay will do it today, you'll do it tomorrow, somebody else.
Right,
right. So it was never really cutthroat.
What was your first car you bought once you kind of made it a little bit?
My first car, interestingly enough, I went to buy it with you and
That's
my Peugeot.
That's right.
I bought a Peugeot that's how much we all hung out. So it was you and Larry Miller and Seinfeld, and
Right.
then we walked into, and I don't know where or why I thought a Peugeot. It was kind of continental.
You liked a Peugeot because Columbo drove a Peugeot. Do you
Is that
remember?
right? But he drove a really old Columbo. That could be.
And you thought, well, if Columbo had one, it's got to be good.
That's right.
So Jerry and I convinced you to buy the Peugeot, and then the next year, Peugeot left the American market.
That's right. I broke him.
Paul has always been a really good friend, and it's nice that we've stayed close over the years, although some people think we're really close.
Paul, you remember, I'm just on the internet one day, and it's picture up and says, Jay Leno lives quietly with his partner of 40
Yeah.
years, and a
Yeah.
picture of you and I together. I can't imagine why people would think that. I mean, sure, we get together every Sunday afternoon and do what we do, but
How is that anybody's business?
exactly, and who would know that?
Yes, exactly.
So wonderful spending time together.
We don't do this often enough, Jay.
We do it too often, as far as I'm concerned.
We do it too often. We gotta get a job.
What? Friends can go for swan rides in the park.
I should be going backwards. There I go. Don't touch my swan.